Alright, so Cerberus is charging in. Thanks to the boost, Cerberus is a big boy now. I'm a real boy! Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. It's another night, and we're beginning playing some more Phobies and probably speculating a little bit more about the update. I'm sure it'll come up. Let's get into it. How's everybody doing out there, chat? How's everyone's weekend treating them? See people competing on who's first into chat this time? I think it was Forgo. Forgo was the first person I saw. Hey, dogewhal, what's good? DT, welcome everybody. Hope everybody's doing well, like I said. I'm not really sure what the game plan is going to be for tonight, chat. Probably just be messing around a little bit. Quick aside, everybody, before we get into the actual content, I was accepted into the Phobies Content Affiliate Program, the content creator program, you might call it. Shout out to the Phobies team, and thank you for that. But the reason I'm telling you, everybody out there, dear viewer, dear listener, is to let everybody know that I do receive some compensation from the Phobies team as a result of being part of that program. Now, I loved Phobies before, and I still love Phobies now, and I expect I will still continue to love Phobies in the future. So look forward to more Phobies content coming from Random's Thoughts. So now, on with the show. All right, we'll jump back into Arena after this, chat. I gotta avenge that last game. All right, so this is actually dogewhal on an alt account, and we're on Moai. And we are level 1. If you want to come by and challenge the streamer, come by live stream RTChompGG over on Twitch. Of course, the links are in the description. Same as the Discord, all that fun stuff. Likes and subscribes, you know the deal. You know the deal. No! Rayos is looking to jump scare everybody again. Alright, let's see. Yeah, so the memes didn't quite work out the way I would have liked in that last game, chat. It would have been funnier to have a little bit more memeage going on, but we couldn't quite pull it off. We'll put you here. Gonna have a lot of jump scares following the October streams. I'm excited for the update. Just a few more sleeps away, chat. Not too many more sleeps until we have the carnival. Obviously, we went through the trailer last night and I asked all these questions, but what are people excited about? Is there a particular phobia that you're looking forward to the most? 2 more days, can I survive? I hope. I hope. Gargles is very interesting here. Gargles is super interesting here. Thanks to 7, huh? New maps is what I'm looking forward to. That's how I feel, DT. Waking Green Day up. The fat bars of fire? Well, you mentioned boss, but you're only at 7 keys, so it's not boss. What do you got? Oh, fire ant. Okay. Okay. Fair. Fair. Gargles. Blocking the way. I like it. I like it. Apparently our opponent doesn't like it, though. They don't like it. The ideal Scrungle would already have 2k beans just ready to open that dreadful when the update comes, but given as we're in the worst reality, I do not have 2k beans. This is arguably the worst reality, I'm with you. But is it the reality where everyone has hot dog fingers? If you know, you know. This is 400, 700. That would be lethal. It's so hard to open doors, it's true. Hot dog fingers would probably cause issues with opening certain types of doors. You know, the lever ones would be fine. Doorknobs, probably a little more challenging. Oh, baby, it's a paddles. It's a paddles. We're going to see some juiced fire ants. Or probably boss, let's be real. The strats. Doge has been doing some homework. Got a little bachelor action going. A little bachelor up in here. Five keys, huh? This is 500. 900. That would probably be dead. This should turn back into a pumpkin at the start of my turn, I think. I'm not entirely clear. I don't recall. There's likely a trap here, though. 350, huh? Okay. That's fine, I think. Turns into a pumpkin, that's how Gargles works? Exactly. What else would he turn into? That sounds scary there, Scrungle. Juiced Henrietta, it's coming. It's a coming. I don't know if it's really doing anything in this particular scenario, but it is a coming. There are a lot of mean things. I mean, this is sitting right now. So, like, I have... Basically, this concave here is off limits because something can get juiced, even a regular phobie, you know, a 2-move range phobie, and it can hit here. So, kind of scary. Turns into a bag of sunflower seeds. I mean, that's one option, I guess, yes. My brother in Christ, why? Sometimes you don't want to know, Taco. Sometimes you just have to kind of avoid and move on. Imagine boosted Morty. That's pretty spooky, I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty spooky. Watch the strats, it's coming. It's a coming. I don't know how much damage Boss does off the bat. He has 9 keys, so this could end up being a Hevo 3.0, and I'd be very unhappy. Hypothetically. I don't know, we'll see. I don't remember, I think it only does like 400 damage, so it wouldn't kill this outright. I'm not sure. Oh, this is actually going to be really bad here, because we're going to get hit with a fire trap. Yep. Yeah, I said there was a trap here earlier, and then I just let it happen. I meant to test, but I wanted to get the boom off the table, and I just got greedy, basically. Like, there was no need for this to happen. Like, this is a 2 for 6 trade, plus Inoculus is important. So it's kind of a big deal. I don't remember, I lost track of where the traps were getting placed after that. Ooh, I like it. I like it. I mean, everything's dead to the traps, so does it matter? Like, it doesn't actually matter, that's the funny part. See, the joke's on you, because I already got all my stuff killed, so... Got him! Well, you could put out the fire and disable traps? But how would you do that, DT? That's impossible. Joke's on you, I already died. Exactly. You fool! So this is still ready to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Okay. That's fine, I guess. Chat, we're doing memes. It's not necessarily a good idea, but we're doing memes. Would be OP if that was one phobia, though. It's true. That might be a little ridiculous, DT. I think you're going a little overboard with some of this. Some might qualify that as unreasonable. What's funny is it just so happens because it was that specific phobia, Bachelor, that it died to the trap. No, wait, how did the Bachelor... It should not have died to the trap, right? It did. It would have done... It shouldn't have... It should have capped the point. What did it take damage from? It had to have taken damage from something. There's the boss. I mean, yes, if you trained an animal to play Phobies, it could play Phobies. I mean, I think that's, yes. Bat died to fire, but how did it... It should have only taken 350 and it has 500 health, so it should have lived, correct? I mean, obviously not, but... Yeah, I mean, I wasn't paying attention either, DT, so don't worry about it. I boop the terror, he falls, I remove his flying. If wishes were fishes. Excuse me. As an unfortunately beat up high five. It's a very beat up high five. I don't know that that's worth it. Hold on. So we want to do this for sure. This thing attacked twice, so there shouldn't be a trap here. I don't think. I mean, we could threaten to yoink the boss, but does that matter? That's 6. 8 is 14. So the high five is dead. Oh no, there was a trap there. When did that one go down? That must have been way earlier. One of the classic blunders. I want the saber-tooth more than the werewolf. I'm excited for both, DT. I really am. The paddles. I mean, that's all that's needed, right? I mean, that works too. There it is. Get him. You didn't attack the heart twice? Yes, I did. Oh, you mean twice with the chuck? Yeah, I accidentally undid too far for that when I redid what I wanted to do. So the spider was not going to die unless there was a trap there. Which, I mean, obviously there was a trap there, so yes, it died. Hmm. $300, so it won't die. I guess this is okay. The heart just sitting there like it's one meme of the dog being surrounded in fire. Like, this is fine. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, excuse me. Oh no! It dead. I think I am too. I don't think I can win this. Fire ant feels like a dimensional, I don't know why. I don't think you're wrong about that. I've thought similar things. I've thought along similar lines. So yeah, if that high five had connected a second time, I think the game is literally over on the last turn. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. The weird helicopter washing machine coming in clutch. I mean, it's going to get another activation off, too. That's the funny part. All right, so this is definitely happening. Hold on. $600. 3. Okay, we can't be there. Game. There we go. We can't be there because of Paddles plays. Yeah, it's a defibrillator. Or defibrillator? I think I said that wrong. This boss is actually really healthy. I didn't realize how healthy it was. Ah, okay. Fair. The boss takes his meds. He takes his vitamins. That is for sure. Wooly bully trundling across the map. So this is 600-700. Hold on. This is just game, right? 145, you're going to take 200. GG. So close, yep. Just attack the heart, yeah. I thought about that last turn, then I did the math wrong in my head, and I said, oh, I can't kill him with the panic point hits. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I should double check that. Turns out, yes, I can. GG. You failed me, Paddles. There were three independent fire ant hits that game. That was pretty busted. That was pretty busted, I'm not gonna lie. GG. Paddles equals middles. Womp womp. That was pretty close, because if you were able to take down the Dactyl, game is over. Doge survives one more turn, he could have killed the Dactyl. Exactly. I didn't really have a good way to position. I think among the other mistakes which I called out, when I moved the Stairmaster defensively, it was because I was thinking the boss / the fire ant would come down and kill it, but I actually kind of wanted that because if they then send Wooly Bully away, I 100% have free run. Like, they kind of had to split, but I guess it would have been the same thing then. It's important for me to put this out there that the elections in the United States are coming up at the end of this year. This could be for your local officials, your state officials, your federal officials, and it's imperative that if you are not registered, to get registered, and if you are registered, to make sure that you vote. Cast your vote, have your voice heard, and participate in democracy. It is important as a citizen of the United States to participate because, unfortunately, we live in an age and time where one of the major parties, specifically the Republican Party, is almost entirely comprised of full-blown fascists and lunatics that are hell-bent on the destruction of this country and stamping out all of the principles that it's supposed to uphold and stand for. We have to vote. It is crucial. Please. Secondly, if you have the opportunity, make sure that you are looking into charities. It could be your local food bank. It could be more international efforts because God knows whether it's a man-made disaster or it is a natural disaster, there are people who need help, both in this country and outside of this country. It could be money, it could be time, it could be other goods. There are tons of ways that you can help out. Try and do something. It's important. Help other humans. All right, chat, we're back. Excuse me. My throat is still very dry. I do feel a lot better allergy-wise than I have in the last few days, but I still don't feel great. But I was upstairs talking to my wife a little bit because she's listening to the Sandman audiobooks. No spoilers, but I have a lot of questions about, and I've read some of the initial comics, but I haven't gotten very far. And beyond that, we've watched the show, and I think I mentioned it in Discord, but we're on that extra episode, and I think we have like a half hour left. So, the challenge that I have is with some of the characters, specifically the immortal characters, and what the immortality in the Sandman universe entails. Because I'm not really clear on what it means. Because there's a lot of different immortalities. I mean, I guess that's basically what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of different interpretations for immortality and what it means within a given mythos. It can literally mean you are invulnerable. It can also mean that you cannot die of natural causes but can be killed. It also can mean that you cannot die, but you could still be hurt. That last one is the one that is super scary to me. But having the potential for one of those things to happen and then literally being unable to die seems horrifying. So I always wonder whenever a story mentions an immortal character, exactly what kind of immortality are we talking about here? Because there's a lot of ways that this could go horrifically wrong. Before we jump into the arena, because I do want to do that next, DT had brought up something earlier, and I forget what that was. What was that, DT, if you're still here? There was something that you had said in the middle of the one game, and I said we'd come back to it. Oh yeah, it was the jar versus the Inoculus chain. I don't think the Inoculus chain is strictly better than jar. Now, when I say strictly better, for people who aren't familiar with that term, it's something that I picked up from card games where, say you have a 4-cost thing that has 1,000 health and it does 500 damage. I'm just picking even numbers. It has 1 move, it has 3 range. Like, picture Inoculus was 1,000 health and 500 damage. The other numbers are the same. Then you had Inoculus 2.0 that was also 4-cost, had 1,100 health, and did 600 damage. It's essentially always better, right? You could make an argument that, oh, well, you don't want to kill a dimensional or something like that, and That's the very strict definition of strictly better, where there are literally no scenarios where you would ever want B over A. And that's why I think that Jar is not strictly better than the Inoculus chain, because it is cheaper, it does have a lob, so it presents a different threat, and it's also more mobile. It presents a different threat than the Inoculus chain. That being said, the Inoculus chain is very good. I was concerned way back when, since we're in the spoiler season for the carnival. By the time this goes up, people already know and will have probably already acquired all of the carnival stuff. Maybe not acquired all of them, but you get what I mean. I was concerned that Inoculus itself was going to be too fragile, and that hopefully the other two, which I was way more concerned with at the time, and still am, because my fears have been confirmed, that they were going to be fragile enough that you could get on them, kill them, and then, you know, you're not in a terrible position as a result. Unfortunately, I'll be honest, the way it is borne out is these things are really, really good, and they cause enormous problems. Like, it is very difficult to deal with them and actually try and get things done that you need to get done. So, are they 100% in every case, all the time, in every way, outclassing the other phobies that serve similar purposes? No. But most of the damn time, you know, like, I joke about it all the time, but in what scenarios do you not want Attractor? Now, we're not talking, okay, concoct a scenario where it's your last 6 keys and it's your only phobie and, you know, you're about to die as soon as you hit end turn, or like, no, we're not talking about that. The scenarios we're talking about is you're in the early to mid game, any map, you've somehow gotten to 6 keys and you're not in a position where you're going to lose the game in the next few moves, sort of thing. There's a whole lot of phobies that could then be played, ranging from your it could be a Klepto, it could be a Hematic Ginsting, it could even be a 5 and a 1, it could be 2 3s, it could be this, it could be that. It's really hard to go wrong with Attractor, right? It immediately has a impact on the board, because your opponent, even though the yoink is not available immediately, your opponent immediately has to respect it. I don't know, it's difficult to look at Attractor and the rest of the chain also and not, you know, be worried. I'm using Inoculus more than Jar recently, and it's 3 levels lower. I think a lot of people don't really know how to play against it, and I don't have a clear-cut set of rules because there's a lot of different scenarios. I use Inoculus not in every game, and in a lot of games. And there are times where I want the Jar mobility, but there's a lot of times where I just don't care. Like, you can, because it'll bend to a degree around obstacles, you don't have to jump through too many hoops to make it work. You know what I mean? Are we willing to upgrade Scritch and use it one day? Eventually. Eventually. I don't really know. I'll be honest with you. I don't really know when I want Scritch. I need to, and this is something that you should do in general. This is something that you should be doing when you're playing games. First, let me think, which is also something you should be doing when you play games. Should also ponder. I didn't check how big this is. Okay. I kind of want a bank. So we might just go with a 1. But when you're playing, you want to try and find scenarios and be like, okay, well, I'm not sure what I need to do here or here. Would this phobie that I own, or even one that you don't own, would that dig me out of this hole? As opposed to always focusing on the phobies you have, because it's important to try and identify those other lines, those other strategies. I keep thinking it'll die, it survives on 4 HP. I mean, that could just be a function of levels. Like, you're saying it's 3 levels lower than your Jar, but how low is that? Because if your Jar is like level 20 and the Inoculus is 17, I know they're not, but like, that's not a big loss, right? I don't know, Bozo. I don't do that, so I'm not sure. I know there's a couple people in Discord that have alt accounts. And in chat. Inoculus is not brittle enough to die to some trash snowball shot, so I just cannot counter it. I think it would be bad if it could. I think forcing you to commit with multiple phobies in order to make that happen is fine. But at the same time, like, I get it. I do get it. Like, this is a scenario where arguably Inoculus would be worth getting online, but I kind of want the tankier body here because of this and this. Inoculus is level 8, most of my main phobies are 10 to 12. Yeah, I could definitely see it surviving. It's going to require effort for people to get onto it. What level is my Inoculus? I want to say 9? Yeah, it's 9. So you're gonna. I'm assuming you have like over 900 health. It's over 900, which is a significant amount. It's going to require 2 hits from solid things. It can't be random one drop and snowball. It's going to have to be snowball and another relevant phobie. Like probably at least. I mean, cassowary could represent a lot of damage. A jar likely is not to do it. You probably need a 3 cost or higher phobie. Did we find a name for the B team? You mean in Ginsting and Inoculus? Or Ginsting and Inoculus? Ginsting and Hematic Ginsting? Don't ask me why I said Inoculus. Yeah, everybody's pushing for like B brothers. I'm like, that doesn't... I don't know. It's fine. Not great. I don't know if that's worth it for the record. Like, that probably isn't, but we're doing it. Like, we're clearing out some of the ones. They have 7 keys. Like, they could possibly kill both of these, but this is a 4-0 panic point advantage. They can't take this back. They could take this back, but we'll kill whatever ends up there. Hopefully. For the record, I have no idea. I say that a lot, I think. I feel like that comes up fairly frequently. Hematic Finnegan? Wait, what? I love using Honey Bear on this map. You just love using Honey Bear, DT. I think there's a difference between those two things. Like, and don't get me wrong, I really think Honey Bear is very, very good. I just don't get nearly the mileage you do out of it. What level is my Honey Bear? Because I've been forcing it in a lot of games offline. Maybe not forcing it. Forcing it's probably the wrong way to put it, but I use it a lot in games offline. To try and... Because, as I mentioned, I use async as my testing ground. I just screw around there. There's a red Finnegan in the old concept art. Ah, okay. Are you going to jar to kill this thing? Because you kind of have to. Disable heal spot while Noxious dives and they get max phobies in battle. I mean, that's a good play. I don't have the Noxious to take advantage of that. I have to do it in more traditional means, we'll say. So obviously the 2-1 keys go down. Who cares? Like, that's not really all that relevant. So there's a trap here or here, right? I mean, it could be here, but it's unlikely. So if the trap goes off, it's 300 or 600. I don't think they can really punish this in any meaningful way unless they commit the Baba Yaga in. Which I'm not too worried about. We do want to set up tickles to go in there if they're going to get cute, though. We could go with, like, Jar. Jar isn't bad here, but is vulnerable to that. Probably go Cassowary. I kind of would rather have the Jar. And I did try, I think this was a DT game plan. Okay, so it's up there. Excuse me, I think this was a DT game plan to break this block down here, or this one up here, I guess, with Gravedigger, and I did try that. I do like it. It seems interesting. Yeah, this trap I wasn't worried about connecting, because, like, this is on the spa, this is here. Okay, you get my Murder Wing, but I'm going to kill Baba Yaga in return, and then recap the point. So, okay. Well, maybe I won't recap the point, because there's Stabby here. So we probably just kill the Baba Yaga. This is unfortunate, though, but I don't think you can... Oh, maybe they can, yeah, because they can swing this up. Good play. Good play. So we kill the Baba Yaga, we kill the Snowball. Yeah, you can't do that, because you're going to lose the Snowball trivially. I don't even know that I get hit with the, Dimensional in that case, because it'll be lava that probably kills it. I hit it once with this. One attack here. Jin Sting, walk away. So we'll trade Cassowary for their Jar, I think. Baba Yaga. Yeah, Baba Yaga's Dimensional is kind of obnoxious, I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of obnoxious. It also pushes a ton of damage. Like, this is gonna be a big hurt on this Jin Sting when I do this. No game. Like, this is down to 700 health. This actually probably dies. Because this is going to come over, this will come in. Because they'll move this up, fly this in to trade for that. I think that's worthwhile for them. I would think that it is. Maybe it's not. 1, 2, 3, 4. This can't get away. I mean, we could put it here and body block, but then it's still dead. That's a meaningless set of actions there. This should not be able to die. Like, I don't think there's any way they can get it. It's possible they just take the Cassowary kill and leave it alone. But yeah, they should be able to move these two in and get this without too much difficulty. I think we trade for both in return, but... YouTube, stop giving me Cheetos ads. It's 3 a.m., almost 4 a.m., and I'm really hungry. I have to confess, I really do like Cheetos, chat. I do really like Cheetos. I don't like cheese puffs. Like the puffy ones. I like the skinny Cheetos. Hey, Jenna, what's good? Thanks for coming by. I appreciate you coming by, Jenna. Even if you can't hang out tonight. You're always welcome. Get a little Temptress action. So Fireball is up. Obviously, this is a threat. This is a threat. This is a threat. So 1, 2. Well, these should be dead. That's 1, 2, 3 hits. We should be able to tank this, but I'm not sure. We're gonna find out. Since the Jin Sting was gonna die, we probably should have put this here. Wait, hold on. So this will actually die to the fire. That's even funnier to me. If we move this down, it's in range of this. It'll take... Then it dies. As it is, if they come in, we can absolutely punish them. The problem is we're not recapping anything, but if the Klepto comes in, we need something else to supplement in order to punish that. So I think now's as good a time as any to get a little spider action going. A little creepy crawlies for the season. It is the season for creepy crawlies, chat. So I don't believe there was time for the Baba Yaga to put another trap down anywhere. We'll see. So they could, of course, come in and try and kill this. But that means either a dead Temptress or a dead Klepto. And clearly they don't want to make that trade if they can help it, or I'm assuming they don't. Certified Toe Classic. Honestly, AWOL usually is trading itself for the, excuse me. Trading it for the stabby. Like, it just straight up dies. Alright, so they're trying to make me choose. We want the Klepto more, but I think we take this and then just beat up the Klepto. We have to see what we can do damage-wise here. Because, of course, this is going to be in range of, like, everything. So we can end up losing the Hevo here. Come on. Alright, so Jar should take care of this. This might put it in range of the... This should definitely be... It has... No, game. It has fire and lava. That means we can hit here. That means that this is healing. Nature is healing, chat. We can put this here. It will not die to splash. We're out of range of that, and we're softening everything up. So I think this is a fairly decent exchange. We will be able to run the Bachelor somewhere. I'm tempted to get one more 1 key, but I don't think we need to rush it. Cheetos Twistos and Crunchos are very close if you're going down the Cheetos tier list. What? Like, those are words. I'm sure they mean something to somebody, but in that particular order, I don't have the foggiest idea what any of that means. I've literally never heard of those. Like, legit, no idea. Yeah, I'm with you, Crimson Boat. I don't... What? What the hell's a Twisto? I have to imagine that they're, like, curled, whatevers. Alright, so if they yoink the Hevo, I think we're okay with that, because I'm just gonna annihilate them. They only have three Phobies. Should I go Brony again, chat? Is this another Brony game? And then just dive their team? Because this is gonna be at like 1700 health. They just cannot kill it. If they come down here and yoink this, they still can't, because it's going to end up here. Part of me does not, like, I want to keep the option, I'm not going to go Brony, because I want to keep the option open to be more mobile if I need to. AKA, I want to be able to Terror or Oopsie. I was thinking Terror, because Terror is going to make their life miserable. They just have no way to deal with it. My Oopsie Baby is only level 5. We'll just go Pterodactyl. I think this solves the mobility question as well. Because the idea is I'm going to kill these two and then just walk away from Erratic. Terror is my general, like my personal comfort zone, we'll say. I have 7 keys remaining. I don't know what I'm going to get. I'll just get Pterodactyl. It's mobile. Like, it has good mobility because it's 2 range. It has great mobility because it flies. It heals itself. It requires them to step on it. And it pushes a lot of damage. There's a lot of things in its favor. Is Octonauty or Spider better for pulls? Attractor is obviously the best beside from that one. I don't have Octonauty. Chat, I think, is kind of split on it. Octonauty represents a range damage dealer as well. There are reasons to choose Octonauty over Spider. I personally like Spider more because of just the simple factor of having, give me 1 second. I can't do stuff and talk at the same time, apparently. I don't know how much damage we're doing to this. Doesn't seem like enough. We don't even really need to do this. Like, we kind of just walk away, right? There's not a whole lot they can do, because even in this scenario, like, okay, they recap this point. They can't... I'm still up. If they go to this point, I'm going to yoink whatever it is and kill it safely. So I'm not too worried. I could probably have killed one of these things, but I want to talk to chat, so we're doing this. When in doubt, terror out. But yeah, as far as Octonauty versus Spider, yeah, DT saying Octo's better. I can definitely see it. I like the lower key cost on Spider, but it's hard to ignore what Octonauty brings. I think they're both fine. Like, I'm not unhappy having either of them. This could die here, but if they choose to do that, I'm kind of fine with it. You use each frequently, so Moffat is still great value. I agree. I mean, it's hard to... Like, any yoink is good, right? Any yoink is good. So it's going to come down to what is your game plan as far as how are you setting things up. If you want to... You know, do you need that extra key to ensure that you hit Phobie A versus Phobie B later on in the game, or at different stages in the game, that sort of thing. So this will put it at under 1,000. 5, 10. So it's possible this dies if I stay here. We don't want the jar there, because the chain from this and this might kill it. I could count it up, but I'm not going to. How much damage did Octo do again? How many keys is it? Yeah, 6 keys, and DT's got the stats for the damage. Like, it's not an insignificant amount of damage that you can do with this thing. It's not something that... I mean, yes, it's not intended to be your heavy damage dealer, but you don't just completely ignore it, right? Alright, our opponent is honorably understanding the situation. I don't think we could have killed both, but maybe it was possible. The erratic obviously was the bigger threat, technically, but GG. range pull is goofy. As opposed to a melee pull. Get a little hydrate action. GG, well played. GG. Yeah, Erratic has absolutely fallen off for me. I really do like Erratic, but range is in, that's the normal attack. Ah, okay, gotcha. Gotcha. A level 4 Octo already has higher stats, both health and damage, than my level 11 Moffat plus range attack. I'm not surprised. Not surprised. I feel like the Jack screen music would be a fun ringtone, chat, or notification. Hi, baby! You're very excited. What's the matter? What? Sit. You're a good girl. She, like, sprinted down the stairs, right? So she comes sprinting down the stairs, beelines past me, and then jumps on the couch. But when I said, hi, baby, she jumps on the couch and whips her head around and starts staring at me. Like, what did I do? I didn't do anything wrong. It's like, yes, I know. You're allowed to lay on the couch. You're a good girl. You're a very good girl. Melee poison useless when it means you lose your yoink. Yeah, it is difficult to actually get. I wouldn't say it's useless. Because it is this is not an insignificant poison. But it is very difficult to make it happen. And clearly the yoink is way more valuable than just walking up and poisoning something in almost every scenario. But there's plenty of times where I said, you know what, I'm just going to send Moffat in and poison that thing. It's like, all right. It's not, like, you don't want to make your Miss Moffat a sheeping gas. But sometimes your Miss Moffat has to be a sheeping gas. And it'll work. It'll work. Like, this is the funny thing. If you look at Miss Moffat as sheeping gas, like, ignore the yoink for a second. 532 poison, mediocre attack. Obviously, your lower poison, I think it lasts longer. No, same amount of time. And it's not an AoE, it's single target. Like, it's arguably bad. But realistically, how sheeping gas works in practice is you rarely hit more than 2 things. And frequently, it's only 1 thing. And that's if you hit anything at all. So, the Miss Moffat connecting, on top of the fact that you now factor in the yoink, is just like, I'm a better sheeping gas in almost all scenarios. It's funny to think about it in that context. One thing I know is that I want to spill blood when I see 1,000+ unit on the board because I've mentally coded myself to use cheaper units. I mean, the less costly units are important, but I understand the bloodlust that'll come out when somebody drops, some big expensive thing. Ah, you were making a video on joining the YouTube gang? Let me know if you want to post stuff. Let me know if you want to post stuff. Not necessarily tonight, just in general, I mean. But often enough, I summon Moffat just so I can get the other Phobies I want as well. I mean, I think that's what it boils down to, DT. The big decision point between... And we'll do it this way. Big decision point between Moffat here and Octonaughty down here is going to come down to what does your game plan dictate? Are you able to... if all else being equal, if you have the spare keys, yeah, Octonaughty is going to be better, but maybe you need that key for the next turn. I hope you get it, Onda. Did you already apply for it? But yeah, I'm with DT that I think Octo's worth the extra key if you have it available to you. If it's available. Going to apply today? Alright, cool. They are based, remember, they're based out of Canada. So, assume regular continental North America working hours is where I'm going with it. Like, you're not going to get an answer over the weekend. You know what the thing is, Taco? All my videos suck. Here's the thing. If you are watching this and you want to be a Phobies content creator or other content creator, it's hard for me to talk because I have, I got my, 500 subscribers. I want to hit 1,000. And there's tons of people who have thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands that produce videos about how to get better. But I can tell you, the only way to get better at anything is to practice. Yes, you might be some kind of savant, some kind of godsend that can just do stuff. But even then, you still need to hone your craft. perfect your skills. And at the end of the day, you just got to do it more. Shut up, Lippy. Except Lippy. He doesn't need to do anything more. Lippy needs to shutting up. But yeah, if you don't like the quality of whatever you're doing, just keep working at it. You'll get there eventually. Can't tell you how long it's going to take. I mean, I'm still struggling to try and get more likes and subscribes. How about them likes and subscribes? But seriously, like, I'm just doing this for funsies. As long as you don't do it and hate yourself. Do it because you want to do it and because you're enjoying it. Don't stress out over it. Moffat's good and cheap, but if you're planning to go wacky with it, you got to do that because damage is important. Oh, it being Octonaughty. Octawacky. I like that. I'll have to remember that one. I really love Phobies and want other people to join as well, especially people from my country. My video game going to have 2 languages, English and Bahasa. I hope I'm saying that right. Because I know most people in my country still can't understand English, so they understand my video too. That makes sense. That makes sense. No, we were just about to do a review, Honda. Oh, your game review. No, we didn't get that far. Yours is probably going to be done tomorrow, based on where it is in the list. We might get 1 or 2 done tonight. And then the majority are going to be done tomorrow. Majority will be for tomorrow. I saw a ping in Discord and I was trying to figure out what it was. That was from earlier for a question that I posted to the Discord group. If you're not part of the Discord, hit up the Random Sauce Discord. The link, of course, is in the video description. And that is where you can submit your games if you want to get them reviewed on the live stream. And then ultimately on YouTube, where you're probably watching this. So, do I see a possible nerf for Attractor? I don't know. I hope there is, Crimson, because I don't like Attractor, but... So the rough part with Attractor, and we were talking about this a little bit when we were talking Jar versus the Inoculus chain. I don't know how you nerf it in a meaningful way. I think it has to be with the ability, like a cooldown. I don't think a stat change is going to be all that meaningful. Yes, there will be times where you're able to kill the Inoculus, the Attractor, that you weren't able to prior to that. But realistically, if it gets a single pull off, it is likely to be so backbreaking that even if you then kill it, it's still fine. Now, I think it could possibly do with both a health nerf and a nerf to the ability, because it's not uncommon to see somebody get an Attractor pull and then it's so crippling that they get more Attractor pulls. Like, it snowballs from there. And I'm not sure there's really a good answer to it, at least not one that's been discovered. Are they going to do it? I don't know. I have nothing to go on for this, but the interpretation I had based on the previous patch was that it almost felt reluctant by the team. Like, they haven't told me anything. They haven't, they don't share that stuff. At least not with me. But I got I don't know. It's just a gut feeling of, like, it seemed like they were reluctant to make those changes. Not that they didn't, oh, well, our game is perfect, but, like, it kind of felt perfunctory. Like, okay, we're going to nerf these things. And then there were a couple random things that, like, like the bad sushi buff. I don't know. I could absolutely see it happening. Do I think it's likely? I don't know. Give it, in all seriousness, now that I say that out loud, I think it is unlikely that we get well, I take that back. There's a chance we get a change with this patch, because the thing is the new maps and the new phobies are going to infuse a whole lot of chaos. It's going to be a mess as people figure them out. And part of that is, one, the obvious, you're not necessarily going to be able to determine, with the new phobies coming in and new maps, does Attractor really still need to get changed, or does this new thing change the calculus or whatever? That's kind of obvious, right? Like, that things are changing, so therefore they change, right? It's axiomatic. But here's the other piece. People are going to forget about Attractor. There are people that are going to be playing for the win. Like, if I had Attractor, I'm going out there and I am ruining people's fun. I am 100% playing Attractor in almost every game anyway, new toys or not, because I want the win. I don't care. It's more fun for me to harvest tiers, both in-game and figuratively, than it is to try out new stuff. Now, that isn't to say that I won't ever try out new stuff, but there's that. But the thing is, most people, when they open the new phobies, they're going to want to, okay, as soon as I get it even remotely close to the level that I can use it, I want to use it. And so there's going to be a lot of people trying out stuff, and people are going to put the concerns about the attractors of the world and other things like that on the back burner for a while. That happens a lot in other games where it just kind of, a new release, a new set, expansion, DLC, whatever, kind of masks the previous problems. Now, it generally, because the design teams know what they're doing, they are correcting things in with those cards or new additions, but at the same time, the community just kind of mentally moves on, like groupthink wise. So it's possible. What are my thoughts about bots in games? Because right now I hate it because Heroic Magic Duel, the bots are too powerful and aren't like at the bottom of the, and they aren't at like at the bottom in a Heroic Magic Duel. I don't know what game that is, Taco. Generally, I'm fine with bots because they do help fill out the population if they're used correctly. If they're just randomly infesting the ladder, I feel like that's obnoxious. Like, I want to play against people. I don't want to play against... And generally, you can tell when it's a bot in a lot of games, but... Each time I say join the Discord, say it as loud as possible so it also works as an ad for Random Slots Discord. I appreciate that, Scrungle. I think HP nerf would be good, so you have to think about where you put it. I don't think you really have to think that much, Krayos, even with an HP nerf. If it had literally... We're talking about Attractor here. If it had literally 1 health, it's safe from just about everything anyway. As long as it tanks a jar, and it can tank an Inoculus, and other Attractor and Repeller, like any of the other three Rangers, it doesn't... Snowball, it doesn't matter. All it has to do is survive 1 hit, because then it moves in and goes, yep, your whole team is mine. It's mine. That may or may not be the intro for this. That's the reason I use Glaceon. I use it to harvest some sweet salty tears. I gotta play some Unite. I gotta play Unite. I'm telling you. More mechanical phobies coming. We need more electric phobies. Do we though? Do we though? Splash damage though? You're saying like splash damage in conjunction with the longer range stuff to fight it? Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's completely irrelevant, but the main concern is going to be, how much can you tank through? And that's where I'm curious where the Phobies team's head is at. So the Inoculus scenario, mostly because I know that I have 991 health on my Inoculus, I have no idea what Attractor's health is at. What's good, Atona? I don't know, like, we were talking about it earlier with DT's Inoculus, that it requires 2 primary phobie hits. You're not going to accidentally kill it, like a splash and a major hit. So a snowball, fireball, and then splash from a klepto, that's not going to kill it most times. And the question is, should Attractor and those other ones be in range of that? And I think you can make a compelling argument that yes, they should. Whether they're going to do that or not is another story. I'm not sure what the Phobies team's target is for that, because I would say something at that power level absolutely should be able to accidentally die. If you ever make a mistake, it should be dead. Because it's so powerful that if your opponent ever makes a mistake, they're dead. So that should be the trade-off. Right now, it feels like the entire Inoculus chain, you can make an error, and your opponent can't really punish it. Do I see Phobies getting a possible cosmetics update, like a skin that makes Dozer a snowman? That sort of stuff, absolutely not. Because, and I did a whole video on this, actually, Crimson. But the main... Excuse me. So I did do a whole video on that, and we will get to this game breakdown in a second. Sorry, Menace. But the problem with skins for Phobies, in short, the too long didn't watch, which, by the way, check out the other videos on the YouTube. Exclamation point YouTube here on the live stream. RT Chomp GG over on Twitch. Likes and subscribes. All that fun stuff. The reason I don't think you can is because they have palette swaps. So it is possible that, say, Dozer into a snowman, that is feasible if they are literally never planning on making a Dozer palette swap. But things like Hematic Ginsting and Ginsting, the Droney series, the Evo series, etc., the cats, Electric Cat, Razormouth, and the new one, the Black Cat. If you were to make, a green cat, and that's a skin that you could apply to any of those, and your opponent just pops one out, how are you supposed to know? Yes, the answer is, well, they go click on it. Duh, you dummy. But especially in Arena, how many times has somebody played a game and like just the animations or clicking on stuff eats up 40% of your turn, and then all of a sudden you run out of options? I think it has negative gameplay implications, and I think I've talked about it before, putting hats on the Phobies. So to use the Snowman Dozer example, give him a straw hat and a cob pipe like Frosty. Something like that. Give skins to the hearts. Give skins to the maps. You know, other things that won't directly have a potential negative impact on the gameplay. Maybe a different animation or something. Now, the animations can still have problems because if they take too long, like if it changes the length of time for the animation, it screws with things, that sort of stuff. Plus, it's a lot of dev effort, a lot of art effort. I think I'm losing my voice, chat. Excuse me. It's a little awkward if you lose your voice as a streamer, right? I don't know. I think that's part of the problem. All right, so this is this game. We're going to get in here. We'll keep bringing up what chat's talking about, but I want to make sure we actually get this in. Our hero here is Menace in the blue trunks versus really high-level players or just 10 and up Phobie levels for some reason, but finally got to use my Cerberus tactic. We got a little good boy action, or big good boy action. We'll have to see how this works out for our hero here. A little bit of an abnormal opener from both players, truthfully, but we'll see how this plays out. There's a little ginger kitten that lives near a bakery near a school I go to, and kids feed it and pet it. Once I sat down and benched and laid on my lap, one thing that worries me is its health. Is it like a stray, Scrungle? It sounds like it's a stray. Gravedigger's finally getting a wife next patch, so happy for him. We need a survivable guy for the win. Yeah. I mean, it could just be a male zombie with long hair, too, Scrungle. Or Krayos, rather. I was looking at Scruggle's name next. I feel there should be added extra assets added to palette swaps. It could be. Remember, there are costs associated with it. You can't just make things out of thin air. So we're getting back to the game. We get a paddles, chat. Are we going to see Walk the Dog? Chat, are we going to see Walk the Dog? We do get a spider here. Bad guy has a weird position. Spider is tough. Both players notably did not go for Gravedigger, which has kind of been the de facto opener on this, the default. The problem with a spider this early is you don't have the follow-up, so it's like you actually have to put in some effort to killing this cat, like possibly exposing the spider. And because this is still here, you can't straight run a one-drop. This is going to get weird. It's going to get weird. Can you send me a picture of you? It's urgent. I'm playing poker and I need a king. I see what you're doing, Fun Bear. I see what you're doing. I appreciate that. We used to have this black and white street cat that hung out by the McDonald's up the street. Sweet cat. I haven't seen in a while, though. Can relate, I guess. Yeah, there aren't too many strays around here. There are absolutely either feral cats, not like a bobcat or something like that, but there's absolutely cats that go around the neighborhood. Either they're people's cats or they're feral cats, because every once in a while you see, we'll say, some unfortunate endings for squirrels. I think you know where I'm going with that. It's a stray? Okay. So this is interesting. I don't know if Menace has a snowball. Otherwise, you can probably punish this relatively hard, because you can put the snowball here, roll the Crushmore up here, kill this, and you're safe. Now you could actually roll the Crushmore more aggressively because they can't yoink it somewhere. But instead, 6 keys do, in fact, go into Cerberus. Chat, we're about to see some Walk the Dog. What amazes me is the amount of friendly stray cats. Are they actually strays then, or are they outside cats that just, like, they know? I mean, animals aren't stupid. If you're kind to them, they will end up, you know, they'll befriend things that are taking care of them, right? Or if they witness other things. Oh, this is bad. This is real bad for our hero. That's just a surprise, oops, you're dead Crushmore. And the Murder Wing is able to take the top panic point, so it flips the other direction. Despite the Walk the Dog strat, this is still going to take like a month to get this Cerberus onto the heart, which is clearly where it's going to. It may end up chewing up some Phobies along the way, though. Here's the funny thing, chat. Cerberus has a regular hand. I know it's a little dimmed here. Like, Cerberus has a hand. It even has a thumb. It has an opposable thumb. And then this hand morphs into another dog head. The Phobies version of Cerberus is weird. It also has this spike back here that almost makes me think it's another ear, like there's a third dog head on its back. But I'm pretty sure that's not the case. So in the meantime, as I'm, doing my art critique on Cerberus here, we got a canine, speaking of good boys, going up here to try and fight this murder wing, I guess. Bad guy. I don't know what's happening here, but, like, it's a little spooky scary. Alright, so Cerberus is charging in. Thanks to the boost, Cerberus is a big boy now. I'm a real boy! Cerberus now can walk just like all the other Phobies. And in the meantime, we're getting some really strange positioning from our hero here. Now, the reason I say it's strange is, like, this Gesundheit is just dead. The jar is probably just dead. The canine may die also. I don't know about this one, Chief. What's the point of Cerberus if you have Hydra? It does more damage. And it's undead. And I think it's significantly tankier. I'd have to look at the stats. DT is usually good with the stats. Crushmore got stinked on. The hand has no bottom jaw. We'll have to watch the animation because that's come up before, Onda. So Panic Point advantage is now in our hero's favor. Ooh. This is actually pretty cool looking. This would be a cool thumbnail too. We'll have to look at the animation for the Cerberus because I know that question has come up before. Does it have a bottom jaw or not? Because it doesn't look like it here. But it's also possible that it just has like a monstrous overbite. Cerberus and Hydra have the same HP. Do they actually? What's the damage difference then? Is it only like 200? Because if that's the case, then yeah, they are way closer than I thought they were. Because I'm pretty sure Cerberus is 1,000 at level 1. This is a level 7. Maybe that's not true. I don't know what their base damage is. So the Boo Fairy is pretty significant here. Alright, looks like we're going to get the attacks here. Let's see if we can watch Cerberus' hand. Oh, we're going all in. So there is another jaw, as you can see here. Which is very interesting. 3k HP, 700 damage. So it's a 300 damage difference for 2 keys. And arguably different weaknesses, poison versus electrical. Hydra does kind of seem better, right? Other than just the coolness factor. I never really think about them because honestly, neither of them are very good. But it does bring up that point. That's a fair argument there. I think you have a point, Crimson. So we get the body block here to a degree. Because you can't body block the Boo Fairy. Like, the Boo Fairy could come around here and power down. But even if the Boo Fairy powers down, it's almost 800, but it's still 1100. You're still pushing a ton of damage between all these Phobies. In the meantime, bad guy's still down 4-1 panic points. 3157 on the heart. Now, this is strange. So, bad guy elected to kill the murder wing instead of powering this down. Now, while I was saying that the power down is not that valuable, you absolutely do not want to get hit for 2200 here. Well, it's more than 2200. Like, that's not good. In fact, one would go so far as to classify that as bad. Okay, so they're putting jar here. I was going to wonder what they were going to put here, because that is not worth it. If you don't take this panic point, you're in trouble. It would be walk the dinosaur.
The heart is cooked either way.
Ball game, folks. The walk the dog strat is victorious. You love to see that. Chat, you love to see that. That's awesome. Well played, Menace. That was pretty cool. Yellow walk the dog action. Boo Fairy couldn't reach Cerberus. It could have wrapped around the... Oh, no, it's a melee one. You're right. It's actually melee. I keep thinking it's ranged, Boo Fairy, but it's not. It is a melee for stage fright. I forgot about that. You're right, Anna. Everybody in YouTube land who's screaming that or ready to throw those comments. First of all, go ahead and comment. It helps the algorithm. Second, like and subscribe. But third, yes, chat corrected me. Chat corrected me. Oh, I forgot to check last night, chat. I missed out on the dollar terrifying pack. Whoops. I totally forgot about it. Like, I just didn't get around to do it. Oh, were they a big walk the dog player? A walk the dog enjoyer? That was pretty cool. I love seeing Cerberus strats. It feels like if you were going to, and maybe they didn't have another way, bad guy didn't have another way in order to try and make the Boo Fairy connect. But the whole point of the Boo Fairy, I think, showed up in order to power down the Cerberus, and then it never even got to attempt its goal. So if that's what's going to happen, I don't know. I think you have to honor the Cerberus too. Like you had to have preemptively set up a sheep or rotated your forces back or get something set up to try and stem the bleeding, because you can't just let Cerberus tee off on your heart like that, right? Get a little womp womp action. Yeah, I missed the $1 offer. It happens. It happens. I'm excited to see, you know, what we get alongside the update. I got Minotaur a while ago. Its skill animation looks cool, but I don't see people use it as garbage. I like it. I haven't leveled mine up, Crimson. I got it last season. We can level it up now. Put it at level 7. You see it periodically. Honestly, I could see it having value on, say, Pluto. I think it's pretty good. I think a lot of people... Like, I don't know how many people actually have it and have it at a level because that is useful. I know I've seen Claws use it before, but Claws does... I mean, people at the top of the ladder, if you watch enough of their games, they do utilize it. I think you need to use it on very tight maps. That's why I think Pluto would work. Because if you look at Pluto... if you get a Minotaur in here, God help your opponent if you can get it on the stim and it connects with multiple things. But, like... It's very easy to get multiple connections in here. As compared to other maps, like maybe Red Rum, it would probably be good because it's not uncommon that there's this big skirmish going on in here. But something like Billy's Room, you're not really... Like, you could shoot and squirt through one of the gaps, but you're not necessarily going to get multi-hits. You know, your opponent could have the opportunity to either soften it up on the way in with ranged or spread out or whatever. I think it has value. I just haven't gotten it up to a level that I'm comfortable using it in a game yet. Minotaur's tanky, so that's good, but I don't like surrounding AoE melee generally. I think it does take a certain game plan going in, is part of it. I'm using Minotaur pretty often now, like 3 or 4 games going to async. That's where I think I'm going to use it first, just to explore scenarios. It deals 532 damage. That's pretty good. I mean, 460 on a 3-drop is not bad. Like, that's not bad. Alright, chat, we'll jump into the arena. We'll jump in, then maybe I'll take a break, get some more water, and then we'll see what we got next. I'll sometimes talk about, oh, I need to avoid this play, and I'll play around said thing the whole time. And then I'll just have a mental lapse, and then throw the game from there, kind of thing. I'm just amazed how Crushmore can move so fast because he's a golem, maybe because his body's a bunch of small rocks. It's all telekinesis. Same opponent as earlier. This opponent? I legitimately don't remember anybody I play against. I forget games as soon as they're done, basically. At least the opponents, like if there was a specific play or something in mind. Yeah, I didn't get too many... I haven't gotten a lot of arena games in lately, Chad. I've been playing a lot of async just to keep up with... ensure that I'm, you know, keeping up with the Joneses, so to speak, as far as leveling goes. But that's about it. So if I go here, I get trapped. I kind of want to try and set up this offensive with Inoculus poking at the heart, but we'll see. Are we winning? Sometimes. Honestly, those traps were recent, Onda. I think those traps in the last game went down pretty late in the game. The unicorn was around forever, so, like, there was no reason that there weren't going to be traps everywhere. Like, there's no reason to believe that that wouldn't be the case. I guess they could go here and poke at the cat, but they could do that from regardless of what position I put it in. Middle near stim pad is triggered before too. Yeah, exactly. There were a lot of traps around that game. That's basically what it boiled down to. So that's an attractor. Speaking of attractor. Attractor's real good. We've been talking about it a lot tonight. It's funny that it showed up in at least half the games. Which is unsurprising, right? Like, big shock that Attractor shows up, right? So I don't think they can punish this play. I mean, they might have the damage to kill the thing, but I'm not sure. How much health does this have? Low enough that we can just straight up murderize it. So I kind of want to have something to shoo away the murder wing, but I also want to just keep mounting an offensive down here and say, stop me, kind of thing. I mean, they can absolutely pressure this setup, but put the obstacle next to the obstacle that's next to Crushmore. Are you saying, like, up here? Or is this what you meant, Donda? I wasn't looking at chat when you said that. I mean, I put it here to just lock them out, because now, like, they can't pull me in a meaningful capacity. They have to break this or either destroy it, like, damage-wise, or get their own Crushmore, that sort of thing. And I should just be able to tee off on the heart for a couple turns. Is it going to be enough? Probably not, but it's going to give us a significant enough advantage that I'm okay with it. Especially since they elected to waste time on the cat, which is part of the reason why I did that. Just like what I did, gotcha. So this means we need to vacate, because this can come out and actually threaten us. We got to at least get this out of here. The Crushmore, that is. which is fine. They can't reach anything else. I mean, they can, but like they're gonna pull the snowball here, so I guess we want to pull snowball out. So they have to move up. They pull snowball to here. That means this can't hit. This could hit. Because I want to do this. So the Gin Sting's going up here in the event that they get cute and send the Bachelor up here. Because we could swing up here with the Gin Sting and then pop out a jar. This allows us to still pressure their heart. If they decide to come south the castle where you can swing in, I don't think they can... Like, they break this, they move up, they yoink, and then it's like, okay, you can put some damage on this, but I don't think they can kill it. They could possibly kill the snowball, which would be obnoxious, but I guess not the end of the world. For the record, if this works, it is a shining example of why Moai is a stupid map. Just saying. This is an interesting play. This is kind of cool. It's not doing a whole lot, but it's kind of cool. There's no way I can kill this now, can I? Come over here with bees. We hit it with a jar. Swing in. Yeah, we're going to kill the attractor. I think we can just kill the attractor. I don't know if that's necessarily better than just punching the heart. Oh no, our jar's down here. Never mind, we can't do that. We'd have to do this. I don't even know that that's worth it, truthfully. Yes, we could, Taco, but then I can't save the snowball, which maybe doesn't matter. Maybe it's better to have kept it where we were, honestly. Because then we're preserving this panic point. Well, they would have just killed it and then pulled the baby Snakey onto the panic point, so I guess it doesn't matter. Basically, if they're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. If they don't deal with my Phobies, I'm going to sweep through and kill the rest of their team. If they do try and fight through the Phobies, then I'm going to just brutalize their heart. Because I'm not moving this Crushmore. Razormouth might be your first level 10 phobia. It would be a good one. I'm not even being sarcastic. In all seriousness, Scrungle. So you could snowball and jar and kill this. Oh, they still had a move left. Never mind, you could have just shot it and done whatever. So what we're going to do is move this up, boop everything out of the way, and then hit hard, hit hard, hit hard twice, move this up, hit hard. So this should have been here. This should have been here. Of course, Onda's going to say level the cat, right? If Onda said Jin Sting, I would assume who compromised your account. Like, your account was clearly stolen. Who are you, and why do you have Onda's account? Oh, that doesn't... that's unfortunate. We're just going to zap it, then.
Damage grows like a blossom.
We unfortunately have to sink everything in, which kind of sucks. That is not what I want. Well, no, this does more damage to the heart.
Splendid job. You've nearly crushed them with anxiety.
I don't think we could have killed them. We could have done a little bit of heart damage with this. It would have been 200 more, but I don't think we get them. If that obstacle got destroyed and repeller push, Baby Snakey will go into the obstacle position. Yes. Just unfortunately didn't have... Well, we could have killed the obstacle, but then we would have, like, instead of having Crushmore hit the heart, we would have been hitting the obstacle, you know, like... And we would have netted less damage. GG. So, I mentioned it during the game, chat. I mentioned it during the game. But Moai feels like an exceptionally stupid map. I had high hopes for it initially. But, like... To get the revenge... Oh, did we lose to that person earlier? Like I said, I straight up forget the games. So, like... It's funny when people, like, they'll ping me in Discord and sometimes they'll say GG, either in my Discord or, you know, like, if it's in my Discord and it's a trend, like, yes, I know, or it's Gamer, or, you know, somebody in chat. But when it's in the official Phobies Discord and there's so many people, this is not, if you're watching this on YouTube, look, I'm not trying to be insulting, but I don't pay attention to people's names. I just play. So if you ping me, I have no idea if you're the opponent I just played, if your opponent I played a week ago, if your opponent I played, like, on the first game that I ever played of Phobies. Like, I have no idea. And I don't mean that to be insulting. Like, I just straight up don't pay attention. Which is a me problem, but it's especially when I'm streaming. But anyway. So I had high hopes for Moai, and honestly, the whole full disclosure thing, and this kind of ties into the upcoming update. Like, I don't like a lot of the maps from Full Disclosure. I don't like Phobos. I rate Pluto higher than other people, but a lot of people hate Pluto. I like Magnificent. I think Magnificent's okay. Moai seems to be no bueno. It just feels like you devolve into one person goes low, namely this person. I'm trying to match the camera. So, like, first player goes low, then the orange player goes high and comes across the top, and whoever defends loses, is kind of what it feels like right now. Until somebody comes up with a new strat, that's what it... Like, what did I do that game? I went for their heart. I didn't even interact with them, like, at all. I basically didn't interact with them until the turn where I killed Repeller. Or, Attractor, rather. The turn I killed Attractor, I interacted with them, and honestly, it probably was the wrong play. I probably should have just gone face, because I would have killed them a turn sooner. Now, they could have counterplayed by answering the Crushmore. Like, when you see the Crushmore rotate down there, it happened to me once, and I'm like, I know what's coming, and I've done that to a bunch of people. So this is not a knock against my opponent, but if you see a Crushmore come down towards your heart, or up towards your heart, they're going to lock you out. You need to be prepared either to break it with damage, or break it with something, or have it like a Hevo 3.0 that's just going to AoE them down anyway, something. Because it's 100% happening. And it's going to end poorly. And then Vile Vortis 11. I actually like that map. I like that map. But I'm very curious what these maps, when they come out. I don't know. We'll see. Now, it's been some time. I don't know. I'm personally of the opinion I have no information on this. This is just me speculating. I'm making this all up. I am a content affiliate, but honestly, let's put it this way. If I knew something, I wouldn't even talk about it. I wouldn't even hint at it, because I wouldn't be allowed to talk about it. So when I speculate on these things, it's because honestly, I have no idea, and this is just me inferring. I think that Full Disclosure was in development before Phobies launched. I mean, I don't think that's really like stretching it. It was only 3 months later. That I doubt they put it together in 3 months. I think even this update, the Carnival, was probably getting built before Phobies launched. I mean, we know for sure, like, the Sabertooth Phobie was in the original Phobies trailer, right? So, point is that I think a lot of those things were designed for a while, but I have to wonder, where and when did the maps get into the rotation, and how are they testing it? And ultimately, is it okay that there is a map where you beeline for the heart and you beat up the other person's heart? Maybe there's an answer to this as to how you deal with this. You know, maybe it is supposed to be your answer is Gravedigger, or you get a bunch of AoE like Klepto and stuff. But right now, it kind of feels like the hearts should be back 1. I don't know what else that would do to the map. But if the heart was here, and the blue heart was here, that opens up this whole lane to actually try and defend. Like, it's a commitment to get in there. And as the aggressor, you have to run through this choke point, or this choke point, I guess, to get to it. As compared to here, where I can stack up 3 Phobies in a line, possibly 5 Phobies with Jar and Inoculus, or vice versa like it was, and then just pelt your heart. And you're forced to come through choke points, through here, and then ultimately through here. And I can always back off. It's actually safer for the aggressor on this map, going after the heart, which is, it feels weird. Is that bad? In my opinion, like, I don't like it. That doesn't make it bad. And that's the difference. I may not like it, but other people will. And it's fine to have different gameplay patterns. I'm just not a huge fan, because I think the game devolves into a somewhat silly play pattern. It's not dissimilar, and this is going to sound weird, but it's not different to me to have people, you know, balls to the wall, bum rushing the heart, than it is to have a super stalematey 300 turn game where you're just trading 1 keys for an eternity. The reason being is because both play patterns are dumb. Like, there's not a lot going on. I think the heart push might be more egregious, because in the trading 1 keys scenario, okay, somebody should be doing something. Now, it could be because you're both low level and you don't have experience, or don't have a collection, or whatever. Or at high levels, it could be, well, why doesn't one of you, you know, show some bravado and go in with a yoink, go in with a boop, make a push, do something. Maybe there's no reason to do that, but it just feels like you're not... I don't know. It's weird to me. I'm fine with it existing, and if those maps are there, you just have to be cognizant of the fact that this is the primary strategy. What else are you going to do? That's what it boils down to. If other people, whether you're watching this on YouTube or you're here on the live stream, RT Chomp GG over on Twitch, Let me know if you've seen other strategies and what's been successful, because I'm all ears. I will absolutely go check out high player games and try and see what they do, because it just feels like one slip up and your opponent just crushes you on that map. I feel like the full disclosure maps were designed to promote aggressive plays. I don't know that I agree with that, because I don't think Phobos or Pluto promote aggressive plays. I think they promote reckless plays. So to me, the difference between the two is, and we'll do a game review after this, chat, like from the list. So Moai, I think, is aggressive, because you're trying to go in, get on the heart, and actually end the game. Whereas Pluto and Phobos, once somebody controls the mid, the game, like, just stagnates. Because then the reckless play comes in of, I have to throw a Hail Mary, and either my opponent screws up, or I overwhelm them and suddenly take over. I don't think or they just sit on the stim and the game ends, because I can't ever break it. And we kind of saw that in one of my games earlier, where I ended up losing, even though I had control, but they had a tractor. So it's like, okay, they have a siege engine, for lack of a better way to put it. Which I understand, I like in theory, but I think I hate all the full disclosure maps specifically. Do you dislike Magnificent? Because I feel like that is a much more normal map. You can have super sweeping plays where, like, oh yeah, that's backbreaking. You're doing a Bane impression, you're breaking the bat. But I think Magnificent's fine, and I think Vile Vortis can be aggressive, but I'm okay with that map when I don't see Noxious, because I just don't have a great answer to Noxious. Yes, I know there's a healing spa on there, but it clusters things, and being a larger big house, I think is fine. I think it's fine. One thing that I'm thinking about, chap, and I was thinking about this like earlier, and I haven't quite formulated the theory in my head, but the relationship between the orientation of the panic points. So here we have a vertical orientation. Here it's pretty much horizontal. I mean, you could say vertical, but I'm looking at it as horizontal. This is mostly horizontal. This one's kind of vertical. But the relationship of where the vault is placed with respect to where the panic points are, I mean, that is, again, somewhat of one of those duh moments. But how quickly you can get to the panic points is going to drive these. And here, like, somebody could cap 4 panic points here as the aggressor and easily maybe not easily, but control them pretty well. You know what I mean? Like, you get this one early on in the game, you get this, you're pushing the heart, you take this one, and then you're probably covering the mid because your opponent is either busy trying to deflect the push, or they can just hold, you know, like they don't have time to go retake this. And I'd have to see, like, this one, again, this map, rather than panic points, really revolves around this stim. The stim is the big problem. To the point where I'd wonder if you added 2 more stims, or maybe move this up here, and another one here, or removed it altogether, what would it do? I have no idea what you're saying, Taco. Didn't get enough games on Magnificent to have an actual opinion, but it's very similar to Vortis, which I do hate. Why is it similar to Vortis? I've never really compared those. I'm interested in hearing it, DT. In all seriousness, like, I'm curious. Charon Gaming and Magnificent. That's a Honey Bear map for me. I tend to Honey Bear there. I tend to Honey Bear a lot. I don't know, I felt as though when I played on Magnificent and when I played on Vortis, and I've won and lost games on them, both those maps, that I was actually playing a game. Whereas on Phobos and on, God, whatever the hell the name of this map is, Moai. I had a brain fart and we were just talking about it for like 10 minutes. On Phobos and Moai, I feel like there's never a game being played. It's like there's a single, now, Phobies games not devolve, but they boil down to basically a single decision a lot of the time, where it's like one misstep and then that is the game. But I don't know, it just feels worse on those maps. Control middle top Magnificent with Rambolina push to lava. Is that enough, though? Honestly, Rambolina is another phobie that's basically fallen off a cliff for me. I rarely, if ever, want Rambolina. Sometimes I want it on Exponential Decay, and that's about it. That's about the only time that I ever look at it and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I could go for a Rambolina here. If the map doesn't have an Abyss tile, I just often don't care about boops. They just seem to not matter most of the time. Because it's too difficult to actually leverage the space that's created in a lot of cases. Now, on Magnificent, yes, you can push them into the lava. And maybe it matters. Is there a healing spa on that map? I don't think there is. I don't think there is. So we're going to zone into... This will probably be the last thing for tonight. It's getting late. But we're zoning into a gamer game here in the blue trunks. I had to double check for a second. In the blue trunks is our hero, Gamer. Last high-level review had Dragon close win by heart damage. Similar close game now with Zafrai. The loss of Erratic was a mistake. Was focused on damage numbers. Whoops. Close the notes. Was focused on damage numbers, but forgot about Muffin. Alright, so Gamer here is opening up with what's probably standard here. And it's important in these games, like, Zafrai is pretty high up on the ladder. I don't know the exact position at this point in time. And so is Gamer, of course. And they're both perennially high ranked. So it's important to recognize when you know, what can you glean from this? And you can always learn from everybody's games, but when you're talking about super high level players, I think there's a little bit more. So here, this is a response that I've kind of been leaning into. Sometimes you go with the one, sometimes you don't. But basically the Murder Wing here means that you can't necessarily swing, well, maybe this one. This is a level 13 snowball. But it would be tough to swing the snowball back to recap this point safely, because you can just beat it up. And in this case, presumably our bad guy here did this to supplement the damage. Dozer is pretty straightforward to me. It's just a Blasto stuff, but don't have Blasto, so use expensive version instead. Yeah, probably. Zafrai is number 3-4 right now. I think you're right. What would a healing spa taste like? Robitussin. I don't know. It was the first thing that came to mind. So the follow-up here from Bad Guy is Unicorn to try and push away the Murder Wing opener here. This is a bunch of damage. One thing that is notable that you want to look for, especially when you start with this opener, you'll only catch people with this for a while, but you can catch people... Jesus, that was forever. You can catch people by invading from the center point here onto their stem and lighting something up if they put it here or here. You'll usually only catch people for a little while. They figure it out real quick. What if Charon had a trail of lava tiles instead of, like, mud? It would be boss or something like that then, right? Honestly, Crimson, I could see somebody leaving a trail of fire as a phobie. That seems like it's something that'll happen. So we're getting a lot of similar phobies. We're getting matching one cost. We have unicorns. We got murder wings, although it's snowball versus stabby and boom at this stage. So the boom here presumably is just going to recap after the cat displaces. The question is whether Gamer's going to go for the southern panic point or not. Yeah, I wasn't expecting them to, because obviously this is an easier one for Bad Guy to try and defend. Wow, we're even matching on the booms. So this is going to lead to a bank. Maxed out on phobies here. Big shock. None of this is really surprising so far. This is all pretty much standard play. The deviations here, Mirror Gaming is right. Yeah, the deviations here are going to be, you know, which one drop is going to be the sacrificial one drop. Does a player have a particular level advantage on a given phobie to try and push something they might not ordinarily otherwise? But in this case, we're looking at, really... I like this. I actually like this. So this is going to mean that one of these two is going to die, but it's a trade. You're going to give up either your You're giving up the Murder Wing or you're giving up the Snowball. 860? 960? Yeah, you can get either of them with the Stabby. I don't think there's any way for you to get both, but we get a Noxious follow-up, which is the biggest thorn in my side, arguably, in this game. Zaffrai doing the Zaffrai thing, Spawn Hevo 2.0. I think I don't remember if I played Zaffrai. I feel like I have, and I don't remember seeing a 2.0, but we do have a bank to 5, so they're on their way. Alright, so here's the muffin that was mentioned in the notes, but I'm guessing that it's there for a while. So, Murder Wing goes down instead of the Snowball. Makes sense. This feels like an error by our bad guy? Like, what did they do here? So, killing the Murder Wing, fine. The Murder Wing probably does more damage than, like, the Meatball than the Snowball. So, this... I don't know if this was worth it. There's a trap around here somewhere. Like, probably in one of these 3 spaces. But trading this for the boom does not seem worth it. Because you're not going to punish this. Like, you're not killing either of these, and you obviously can't threaten the Snowball. So, Gamer's gotten out to a fairly decent lead at this stage, and chooses to max out. 6 keys remaining to 13 remaining for Bad Guy. While Gamer does have a board positional advantage, this is... I don't know. So chat called it. Chat called it. Zaffrai's going with the good old Hevo 2.0. A mech and useful boop. Get a big retreat here. It is going to be difficult for Bad Guy to commit in, because you're just going to be trading 1-drops, but Bad Guy is down to 6 keys as well. So they would technically be at the 1-key trading war advantage, because they're going second in this exchange. AKA, like, Cowbell goes in, AWOL goes in. No, actually they're going to be down, because Gamer's going to get the first recovery. So Cowbell goes in, AWOL goes in, 1 key, 1 key, 1 key, 1 key. You get the idea. And Spider comes out to play. We're getting traps going down, but I don't know. Is Unicorn that good on this map? I've come to respect the power of Unicorn, but at the same time, it just kind of feels like... I don't know. Nobody goes on this lava. I don't think I've ever seen somebody end up on this lava. I don't know if... So this may have been intentional by Gamer in order to get rid of the AWOL, but if that was the case, I would have liked to have seen the AWOL end up somewhere else. So that way you don't also get booped on the Noxious. Just to, you know, not have damage on it, don't get displaced, that sort of thing. The thing is that the boop is down, so that means that you do have some setup here. A little time to set up, rather. But the AWOL dying is relevant because that means that you can't just go recap things. This is the final phobia erratic from Gamer here, with 1 key remaining for Bad Guy. This is actually a little... This is going to be very interesting to see how you can get in on these things. So there is a commitment here, but remember... So Boop is down, but Yoink is up. So you could Yoink, Poison, hit twice, hit with this. This might be the play that Gamer mentioned in the notes about miscalculating with the Muffin. Because if you're calculating multiple turns worth of damage, you need to make sure that it connects where you need it to. And in this case, you could hit a bunch of... Like, Maggie can get in, this gets in. If this gets double hits on Hevo, this can spit... You know, you could represent a significant amount of damage. There's the Razor Mouth. So we're going to get positioning wars for a little bit. as everybody stages for the offensive and tries to jockey for position, dodge what the plays are from your opponent. And the question is, who's going to catch who? 14 turns left. What flavor is Muffin Spinkhead? I don't know. We'll have to ask them since they spend half the match eating themselves. Like Self-Eater from Gwent. One of the creepiest cards in that game. So this is an interesting yoink. It is a quick pick, which given that, you know, you're down to the bare minimum left on Phobies, this is interesting. Unicorn Farming Simulator. So the Unicorn did lay a gazillion traps, so they're everywhere at this stage. But at this point, I guess Gamer's plan is, alright, I need to commit. So Spider goes down. Alright, this is a worthwhile trade. This is a worthwhile trade. You recap the points, your opponent is not in a position to immediately punish you. You're in a pretty good spot at this stage, because you have the panic point advantage. Okay, this might be a mistake. 1,300 health here. The Boop should be live. Boop is live.
I feel like there's a spark between us.
So we get the snipe here, which is nice. Now it's a triple panic point advantage. Triple panic point advantage. You lose the Maggie in the exchange, but you're in a pretty decent spot. Honestly, I don't think they can go... Like, they can't heart rush you. So, as long as you hold these 2 points, you should be in good shape. But Gamer's electing to go and try and pick stuff off, which I can understand, because now it's Muffin and Hevo, and, like, you're in a good spot. 1,000 health. So you're not going to die to the Hevo, so you get the erratic in position. The trap from 1769. Down goes Noxious. So this is the problem. This is 1,700 damage. $1,700 damage. And the Muffin, this is what Gamer was talking about in the notes, the Muffin pushing the Hevo out of range to get blown up. So now it's suddenly Hevo 2.0 versus Snowball. You do have a mobility advantage, but you clearly can't just fight this. You have to hit and run. And get the hell out of Dodge here. Bad guy has to hunt you down because there's really no other way they can win. It's going to take forever to do the hard damage, and you could actually go from one end of the map to the other and possibly be safe. It depends on where they're positioned, but at this stage, 500 health. Yeah, they have to go up here, bad guy does, because if they don't, you can zip across the top and be safe on their stim and then just kill them. But they're screwed because as the blue player here, you can just back and forth between the spot, and they never have an opportunity to kill you, and they don't have an opportunity to recap one of these points. Because otherwise, you just run around them and go to the stim. So GG, well played. Yeah, the erratic play, honestly, was fine. I mean, it ultimately worked out, but I feel like bad guy Like, the spider loss was big. That doesn't seem like it did anything for you. It did get hit with a trap that turn, I believe. Yeah, there was a trap, which they didn't know, and probably didn't account for. But there was one other play where I feel like they did something that they didn't really need to. Yeah, this. I get wanting to kill it, and it's the only way you can, because otherwise I think you risk losing the stabby, so it's lose this or lose the unicorn. The alternative would have been, like, send stabby up here. Would stabby have had enough damage? Unicorn was here. That would have been 7... No, I don't think you would have had enough damage to kill either of these. Maybe you could kill the snowball with the combination. Like, you move stabby, hit the snowball, move this up, because this would have been like 700-800 in this, so you kill the snowball instead of the murder wing, then you preserve the unicorn, you can roll that up or rotate it wherever. You think you can kill murder wing and snowball this turn? So I was trying to figure that out when we were doing it, but if you... I don't think you have enough damage, because it's either 2 hits on either to kill it with stabby, and these two cannot kill either of these with a single hit. And if you move this up here, it's... How much is the stem? 355? So it's 7, 8, 840... 842? So you're not killing either of these. Stabby kills Murder Wing, Cowbell on Lava. Stabby kills Murder Wing. Cowbell on Lava to last hit Snowball. Later, Corn can hit Snowball. Jar hits Snowball. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so Jar can hit. So if you go... So you kill Snowball, like we saw. Lava. That's 324. So they have 6... We'll say 324 plus this is 770. 9 and change. Yeah, that would get it. That would get it. Zaffrai feels like he wants to force himself to spawn Evo 2.0. It's easy to get tunnel vision in games. It's easy to get tunnel vision in games. But yeah, this could have been disastrous. So where would it have ended up? You last hit here. So there's Cowbell and there's this. You have a Jar here. You have a Stabby here. You can boom to kill this and this, because you're going to hit it with this and this. But then it's Stabby and Jar instead of... What do we end up with? You'd have Stabby and Jar on the board instead of Cowbell and this. I mean, that seems like a better position, because they're missing the Snowball here, too. So it's these 4 against Stabby and Jar. I think that's reasonable. Evo 2.0 reminds me of the Pokemon Registeel. I can see that. I can see that. I just got the $1 offer and got AWOL. Honestly, I'm happy with that. AWOL seems to be one of the better one-drops. It's really useful. It is a Stabby sniper in a lot of cases. At worst, it caps a point, but it can represent... a significant amount. Like, look at this Stabby. It's level 12, but it's 600 damage. If that connects with anything, yeah, you don't care that it dies afterwards. It got 600 damage in. What's the $1 offer? So there's a time-limited one that's showing up for people that it's 99 cents for a Terrifying pack. I had the opportunity, and I just forgot to do it because it's time-limited, like I said, so... but yeah, this is pretty well played, gamer. I think there were a few turns, this one included, like we were just going through, where Zaffrai, I think, had opportunities to do other stuff. I agree with chat that it seems like they were just hell-bent on trying to make Evo 2.0 happen, but you take those. Take those. Well played. Hopefully my voice holds, because it sounded like it was given out this evening. We'll see how it goes. But it was definitely a lot of fun, both playing Arena, looking at games, talking about random stuff. It's always a good time with chat. So if you're not part of chat, meaning you're only seeing this on YouTube, come by the live stream, RTChompTG over on Twitch. The link for that, my Discord, and all the other fun stuff, of course, is in the description. The likes and subscribes do help because, of course, I am trying to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Really trying to get there, making the push. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't expect to, but I got to try, right? But anyway, we're going to call it. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And Black Lives Matter.